So what we have here today is a dometic ducted RV air conditioner. Not cooling. Already took the cover off. 4 screws in the cover so they don't roll off the roof. Unit is running. The motor works, thermostat's working, and the compressor is working. It's not cooling because there's no charge. Looking for a leak. If it had somewhat of a charge, I could find it on the high side if it was leaking by using soap bubbles, or you could probably hear it hissing out. But if you're looking on the low side, look for signs of an oil leak. So I did have oil leaking all over here. Started pulling off some of this tar goo, looking for it. And what I found was where they pinch it off, right here, it was cracked. Barely touched it and it snapped off. So that's where my leak is. Now it is a closed system. So to put your gauges on, you need some sort of a service port. Normally I use the bullet piercing valves because they're quick and easy. I know people complain they eventually leak, but I found if you clean it off really good before you install it, you have better luck. Although where this broke off, I'm thinking of using one of these access valves. So I'm going to stick this in and braze that in there. Just remember to unscrew the needle valve so you don't melt it. Take that out, and I guess I'm going to squeeze this in there, make a good mechanical connection, and then proceed to braze that in there. We'll go from there. So I just squeeze this, seemed to pop right open, and get it somewhat little rounder. There we go. Then we can stick this in there, braze it up. So I cleaned it up a little bit. And then we'll get this in there. And because I'm on a roof of a camper, I didn't want to drag up my acetylene tank. And all I've got is propane. I didn't get a chance to stop and get some MAP gas. That burns a little hotter, but we'll see if this propane torch works. And I got some, where did it go? Got my brazing rod. I don't remember what kind I got. I'll put a link in the description, but there's my brazing rod. And we're gonna, I guess, get the torch and try and point it this way so we don't melt anything. All right, let's see how we do this. Still trying to get this thing in there. Got a screwdriver, kind of stuck it in there and wiggled it around, trying to get a little rounder. So this goes in a little deeper. There we go. All right, we'll try that. Well, took way longer than I thought, but looks like it'll hold. I'll let that cool down, and not too shabby. Alright, well, that's been cooling off while I ran down to get my gauges, an extension cord, and a vacuum pump. So, got a wet rag just to make sure it's cool to the touch. That way we can put our needle valve in. Stick that in there and use the little wrenchy thing they give you. They give you a plastic one. I actually have a brass one, but it's in my toolbox. And as you can tell, I'm climbing up and down a ladder. I want to bring my whole toolbox, so I'm just bringing what I need. So we'll put this in, then that'll give us a service port. I think I mentioned before, high side, low side. If anybody's new at this, you have a suction and discharge, low side, high side. So your discharge is your high side. We're not going to mess with that. We put the service port on the suction side, low side, because that's where we're going to charge. The low pressure, if you think about this, the tires on your car are about, I don't know, 35 psi. That's what's on this side is the low side. As you can see, the high side is going to be, well, even the gauges, they go over 200. Sometimes the only time you really want to get on the high side is if there is a service port and you're checking for like high head pressure. Anything that's, if it's shutting off on high head pressure or something like that, you want to see how high it's going. But other than that, we're just going to be messing with the low side. And let me tighten this and I'll get back to you. All right, so we got our low pressure suction hose going to the manifold. The center or yellow going to the vacuum pump. What we're trying to do is pull a vacuum here. Once we pull a vacuum, we're probably going to leave this on for maybe a half hour. I mean, it's a really small system. We're only talking ounces of refrigerant. But we're going to pull a vacuum and then see if we can hold it. If we're not holding it, we still got a leak. So we'll see if we can hold a vacuum. I'm going to turn this on. I don't know how much you're going to be able to hear because this could be loud, so I'll get back to you. All right, it's not too loud. I hope you can hear me. That's on, valve open. If you see some smoke coming out, that's probably any air that's in the system. That should clear up. And wow, we pulled down pretty quick. So hopefully we don't have a leak. I'll leave that on for a little longer just to kind of suck everything out. And then we'll shut it down, close the valve, and see if, well, first we'll close the valve, then shut it off and see if we can hold this vacuum. And if we do, we don't have a leak, we can start charging it. Well, I dropped my phone, rolled off the side, had to go down and get it. Hopefully it's still working. I found the nameplate. I forgot to show you guys this. I cleaned it off. The refrigerant we're using is 410A. Of course, I got some old school R22 gauges on, but it'll work. I mean, we're only talking ounces. Where is it? Refrigerant ounces. I don't see it. I don't even have my glasses on. I know it's 410A. Is it 21.5 ounces? Yeah, there it is. 21.5 ounces. But got no way of really measuring how much is going in. Oh, I gotta go get the tank. I'll be back. Alright, got the tank. There's the 410A. Now, you know, when you do turn it upside down, you can get the liquid out. I think for now I'm going to keep it up and just charge with a vapor slowly. And I'm going to put a thermostat inside. And we're just going to wing it. We're just going to slowly charge it and check our temperature. See when it starts cooling. See how low we can get it to cool before it starts to go up a little bit. Then we know we're fully charged. We'll go from there. Right now we're still pulling a vacuum. Alright, it's been on for a little while. So what I can do is close my manifold and we'll just keep an eye on this. It doesn't even look like it's going up. That's a good sign. So I'll shut down the pump and we'll keep this closed. We'll check it in a little while, see if we're still holding. If we are, we can charge it. Okay, we're still holding a vacuum. So, looks good. Hopefully we don't have any leaks. So what we can do now, You know, as soon as we remove this, we're going to get air in here, which is fine. I mean, I don't have my other connector on here, but we're going to take this off, put it on there, open this up, crack this open a little bit so some refrigerant comes out. It's what you call purging your line. So it's going to be hard to do this with one hand, so let me sit the camera down and I'll do that. Alright. Well, I took the vacuum pump down, took the extension cord down, put that back in the truck, and noticed I am still holding a vacuum. So I went ahead and hooked up my hose, opened the valve, and we got to push this air out that's in here. Purging the line. We're just going to crack this a little bit. Can't do this left-handed. Going to switch hands. Don't drop my phone. Whoa! Yeah. Alright. We purged. Alright. Still holding a vacuum. So let's put a little bit in so we can turn this on. Once we're running, we can slowly add to it. Alright, crack this open. There we go. Put a little bit in. Okay. I don't hear no hissing, so hopefully we don't have a leak. That's all I need, right? I'll have to do this all over again. Let's see. It's happening. It's going down because it's equalizing on the other side. You know, we're putting the refrigerant in the suction side. You know, you see it shooting up. And then you notice it comes down a little bit because it's got to go through the compressor, through the metering device. I don't even know what this has, a cap tube? I don't see a valve. I think it's a cap tube. Anyway, through the high side, through the compressor, till both sides equalize. Which we can't tell because we're not hooked up to the high side. But anyway, we got a little bit in there. So let's go in and turn it on. This is where it's nice to have two people. You know, I could have one person inside at the thermostat while I check my gauge, but it is what it is. We'll just be running up and down the ladder. Alright, on our way down the ladder, I saw my reflection and just wanted you to know I do have my safety glasses on, okay? By the way, the other thing I did was I turned the breaker off so there's no power up there, just for safety. You know, you don't want to get shocked, but the other thing is if nobody knows you're up there working on it and they go and turn it on, you don't want that fan kicking on or anything while you're working on it. So I got to turn the breaker back on and we should have power to the thermostat. Okay, let's see. Do we have power? Yes. And we're going to put this in cool and we'll see if it kicks on. We'll go from there. Alright, it's on and running, and it ran right into a vacuum, so I don't have enough in there. So let's start putting some in. We'll slowly add some refrigerant. So I'm at least not in a vacuum, you gotta have some in there. So we'll just slowly add this, little vapor at a time. I know this is the long way of doing it, but really don't want to drop the liquid. Like I said, you could turn this upside down to get liquid out, charge it a lot faster, but let's just take our time, slowly add vapor, and it looks like we got some in there. So let this run a little bit. And let's go hook up a thermometer and check temperatures, see if we can get this thing cooling. The other way you can do is, as you're adding it up here, you can check your suction line. You should probably feel it getting nice and cold. Might even freeze up on you if it's low on charge. That's one way of checking it, but it should be getting nice and cold. we'll just keep going at this rate here. Alright, got a digital thermometer here. I'm gonna stick it up in there and close it. Alright, stuck it in there and close that. And wow, we're cooling a little bit. We'll see how low this goes and see if we have to add some more. But it should slowly come down. Alright, where are we at? About 77.9 and it stopped, so we gotta add some more. We'll go back up on the roof and add some more. Yeah, there's not much in there. I'll just add a little more. See, I have not done one of these in a long time, so I can't remember how much actually goes in there, so I guess just slowly take our time. Just keep adding little at a time. But it is like 80% humidity out here. Probably like 89, 90 degrees. So it's a hot day. So we're at 57.5. That went up a little bit, but it's working. I think we're fully charged. Well, I lost a lot of footage of charging the system. I don't know what happened, but I don't have the video. But just to let you know, on the suction gauge, I was reading about 60. But you really can't go by these because these are old. Like I said, these are good for R22, even R12, 50, what is that, 2? So these aren't even the right gauges. I even have a separate set of gauges for 134A, but I mean, I don't have a digital scale to charge this. I was just doing this for entertainment purposes to show you that if you wanted to try this yourself, you can get a propane torch with the tip, maybe even some MAP gas, that's the yellow tank, at Lowe's or Home Depot. You can get a cheap vacuum pump at Harbor Freight, or you could even maybe rent one at Home Depot if you just wanted to try and do this yourself, because those air conditioners they're about $1,000. So this unit was about 5 years old, and rather than replace the whole thing, figure I'd just try and fix it and do a video. So it looks like it's fixed. Got a video out of it, so if you want to try it yourself, that's it. Another thing is, put all your screws in loose. Make sure they're all in before you go tightening them all. All right, that's all.